Agents Podcast.
I've got the best clickbait in the history of podcasts. What is the Hawk Tua girl doing? And I probably just completely butchered the way you're really supposed to say it because I would feel weird saying it the way she did. That you're not doing that has created massive exposure for her, probably opportunities coming out the yin yang, even though she got fired, I heard, from her day job, which probably was a blessing in disguise. And we're going to bring on the perfect guy to talk about it today, which is our good friend Ed Stulak, based out of the Northeast. I would call you a veteran of the real estate industry as it is today. And oh, by the way, it's not just going to be about that. So don't turn us off yet. He's also going to share with us, I would argue, the best social strategy to grow your following and create relationships on social media. And this is not some bullshit strategy. This is something Ed does himself, and Ed doesn't even know this, but I've already integrated it into my speaking slides because it's so good. It's called Follow Farming. But first, let's introduce our guest, Ed Stulak. Welcome, my friend.
Well, thank you. What a welcome. I love it. I'm excited to listen to this now, man.
Well, I mean, you got to help make it. So
That's true. Good point. Good point.
I hope you have a photographic or some sort of memory that allows you
Oh,
to
yeah.
rehash this. Well, so Ed, let's start here, man. Before we get into the real juicy goods, let's talk a little bit about your past. For those that don't know who you are, real estate agent who's been around the block here I mean, I would say you're a veteran for a millennial. I'm pretty sure you're a millennial.
Yeah, definitely a millennial. Yep.
And but yet you're well versed. You've been in the industry now for a good number of years for your age, and you're having a lot of success. A lot of it is due to Instagram, specifically social media. So tell us kind of your journey, like what got you into real estate and led you to where we are today.
Yeah, real estate was definitely never on the horizon for me. I will put it that way. It was medical school that I was forced by my parents to dive into, which turned out not to be the way. Obviously, here we are. It was definitely a stepping stone to get me to where I am today, though. I will give credit what credit is due. So I was a Penn Stater studying pre-med, playing ice hockey for the team, and playing with this thing called Instagram and Vine, if we remember the Vine days.
What year was this then? That sort of had to have been like 12, 13-ish.
Yeah, 2012, 2013,
Okay. All right.
slowly entering 14, exactly. And was playing and dabbling a lot with Instagram though, and realizing what that platform had to offer to businesses, to personal brands. I didn't know what personal brand was back then. I didn't know what entrepreneurship was back then. I didn't know what business was necessarily back then either. But something intrigued me, and I realized Instagram could be a really good key to unlocking that or getting past that door and creating that door, right? So I realized Instagram is this platform that I'm attracted to so much. I'm intrigued by all the content that's made and pushed by all these content creators and these influencers and celebrities. And it was for the first time that I realized as a consumer, I get to peek behind the curtains of a celebrity's lifestyle that is never usually shown to the public because they post about it. And that really got my gears turning of why are we humans so intrigued with other humans? Why are we intrigued with the famous, the fame, the influencers? There's a reason to it because probably secretly we want to see that lifestyle or experience it too. And what better way than through social media? That's probably the closest I'll ever get to Brad Pitt, right? Or, Mr. Beast nowadays, or Hawk Tua girl, right? So, like, knowing this, I'm thinking, how can I build up a personal brand? How can I build a following? How can I attract all these people to want to look into my life? And then that got me turning even more of, well, what can I sell them? So fast forward, I dabble with Instagram, dabble with Vine, dabble with Facebook over the years. 2016 rolls around and I say, all that is fun and games. All those platforms that you have behind you right now on the wall, all of them, I put them all out. And then I realized I don't make a lot of money with it. It's good, it's fun, good exposure, but what am I doing? So fast forward again, got into real estate. Now here we are. About 8 years into the game, I implemented all the tips and tricks I've ever learned and best practices from social media and implementing into real estate. And now I'm winning. I'm doing well with it because of social media. So I very, very grateful that social media is a thing, because that was definitely my biggest variable, successful variable to my formula. So that's
Yeah.
the
Well,
nutshell.
first of all, I didn't know you were a Nittany Lion, first of all.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Mm.
It completely digress for just a moment, because anybody knows this podcast knows I'm a sports guy, and anytime someone shifts it, I have to jump down that. I'm a Wisconsin Badger fan, so therefore I do not like Penn State as a result of that. So
Understood.
now I know that there's something that we have to butt heads on. That's very good.
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me on.
No, dude, seriously. You know, the thing I love about what you just said is a segue to something that I didn't even mention. Two things, actually. Number one, you're also a recent author of a book called Expose Yourself, which if you don't have a copy of it, you haven't heard of this copy, go check it out. Go to Amazon, look up Expose Yourself. It was funny. I actually had a coaching call with somebody earlier who bought the book as a result of seeing you on another platform, which is great. She showed me and she was excited. But I think what is so incredibly important to this conversation is that effectively you're ahead of your time. You're ahead of business time in terms of, first of all, just mentioning Vine in and of itself tells me you're either super young or, you know, you kind of had an inkling, right? And, you know, you didn't turn out to be Jake and Logan Paul, who gained their fame as a result of Vine. So you had to find a place to actually make money. But what you mentioned is what every young human really, it's like my generation wanted to be either in Hollywood or a professional athlete. That has now shifted, and young humans now all want to be influencers. You quickly realize, well, this isn't going to pay the bills, so I got to go find a way to use my influence. And the reason I'm monologuing this for a second is because I actually recently saw somebody's thread that was talking about how we got to get back to professionalism in real estate, and how influence needs to it shouldn't matter, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm very much paraphrasing, because it was a profound, well thought out, but also told me this guy, I think, is old and doesn't like new things. And whether he likes it or not, the influencer, in quotations, will have a less steep hill to climb and create more opportunities than the professional, any business, not just real estate, any business that chooses to market and advertise in a traditional, old-fashioned way, I'll call it. And here you are now, kind of out ahead of it. 53,000 plus followers on Instagram proves that. What would you say to just that general conversation about now this continued evolution? You're living it, you're a part of it, you're a pioneer of it. What do you have to say about that?
The point of this talk, right?
It is.
You never know what one video can do for you in your life, and it can change it for the better or the worse. But I would say any exposure is good exposure. Bad publicity, good publicity, it's still publicity. We've heard that quote before. And I think social media is one of the best ways to make that happen. People that don't take advantage of that are silly. Silly. If I'm talking to the 93-year-old Larry that's been doing real estate for 73 years, and I talk about social media, you know, it's not going to resonate with him necessarily, because Larry's 73-year-old thoughts of being in business are billboards, bus stops, yellow pages. I don't know. What did they do, 73-year-olds? Said pigeons? I don't know what they did for door knocking and stuff. I don't know. Shows how young I am. Anywho.
That might have been before television.
Yeah, right. Like the radio. These things work. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not downing them. And I'm not saying, Larry, your thoughts and your practices are back. They're not bad. They're fine. There are better ways to do things today. We're not riding horses everywhere today. We're riding cars, because that just makes more convenient sense, and it's more efficient for time's sake. We evolve. So those that don't evolve, it's silly, you know, and I'm speaking to real estate professionals right now. I'm not sure about other industries. Maybe other industries can argue, but with real estate, my apologies, but your old methods need to evolve. So for that old Larry, let's call him, like we're sticking to Larry, we're we're looking at two different ways of doing business today and exposing ourselves or advertising ourselves. Let's put it that way. And so if I were to talk to Larry and speak his lingo, and I would say, Larry, do you want to keep doing the billboard advertisements for call it 3,000 a month? Or would you rather, if I gave you the option, have a free billboard for free for the next 5 years, 10 months, you know, 2 months, whatever it is? Like, would you rather the free route or pay? And if Larry says he'd rather pay 3,000 a month, like I don't know why. So my point being is that free option, like that's essentially what Instagram does. You post one reel and it could be free promo for the next God knows how many years. This is again the point of this talk. Hawk to a girl. I don't think she intentionally said, I'm gonna say something on camera and now hope for massive exposure. No, it wasn't that at all. It was let me post it, let me see what happens. And that video blew up. Why? I don't know. It's funny, it's relevant, it's sexy in a sense, right? We get attracted to it. And so of course we're going to talk about it. But now the opportunities that are happening from that, that is a free billboard for her that she didn't know she had access to. And now it's changing her life, probably for the bad, for the worse. We don't know, but we see the exposure and we're jealous. Let's be real. I'm jealous. I wish I had that. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing, I think, and it's a great kind of segue into, and we can, you know, the clickbait that I used in the beginning, which was, you know, how we can learn something from this, really. And you know, you can use that as an example. There's a lot of, you know, we're in an election year. There's a lot of political nonsense being talked about, but how you use what can come from, but also I think what scares people from social is, what are people going to think? What are people going to say? Hawk Tua is a great example. I'm fairly certain she got fired from her job. She worked at a preschool or school of some sort, probably unfairly. There's probably a lawsuit in there. But what is going to come from it is going to be massive opportunity. And it's no different than you as an individual creating a post that might be slightly controversial or might stir some emotions. But how you react to that and how you handle that is what defines you. And so what can we learn from Hawk Tua?
We can learn that simplicity is a golden thing. Don't overthink stuff. And also, well, entertainment and once again, sex sells. It's just massive proof, more and more to the pudding. Every time I talk about it, people giggle like they're kindergartners, like, oh, well, okay, we find relevance in it. And what can we learn from it? You never know what video will help you push your brand like never before. It could be the silliest video. It could be the first video. It could be your 7500 video. You don't know. Don't stop posting. That's what we can learn from this. I totally think that's what we can learn from this for sure. For sure.
But in her case, it was not even her video. I mean, in fact, I don't even know the story behind it. Do you know the story behind it about how that came up? Who was interviewing her, or who was talking to her, who was recording? Was this for something?
No, so there's a bunch of content creators out there that just do street interviews and they just ask random people on streets about random things. And then I guess the interviewer asked her a specific question about how you do something, I guess, with your man or whatever it is. And she said what she said, and that was probably the most realist answer that no one's ever really said before. And I guess because of its realism, people were like, "Oh my God, that's so true." And it blew up. And I don't think she meant it, but here we are. So,
crazy, man. But that's what can happen. I mean, that can happen with I mean, you know, as silly as it is, it could happen with a real estate video. Actually, you know what? Perfect segue. I have an Instagram video right now that has 3 million views and growing. And it's not even on brand. I mean, I'm a golfer. but I had an opportunity. I took advantage. I videoed it. I put a clever caption. I guess it was clever. Obviously, it caught attention, and it even got picked up on a local news station that I didn't know about. Somebody called me like, "Dude, they were just talking about you on the radio," and yeah, this just all happened in the last 2 weeks, and I'm not doing anything with it because I'm so dialed into my niche that it's like, do I really want to like shift and start doing golf content? And if you're a golfer, you know about Zyre Golf and these various platforms that put out that type of content. But it really, I mean, I guess I could tie it back to real estate, golfing communities, things like that. But it's just an example of like something can go viral that is the simplest, easiest thing. I was playing in a golf tournament, just captured some footage, bang, I think the question that a real estate agent or any professional or business might have is, and I'd love to hear your answer to this too, is, okay, what do you do with it? So what do you do with that virality? Because you know this, Ed, like going viral is not the goal. It can create opportunity, but ultimately, especially in our profession, virality really doesn't mean anything for our business, because really we just want to be local viral. And local viral means hundreds, maybe thousands of people, not millions of people. So what is, for anybody who struggles with that, what's your response to that?
If accidental virality does occur, you obviously want to capitalize on all that exposure, gain all those followers, reach out to as many of them as you possibly can. I believe in you never know who knows who, and you never know who knows what. And that principle it means a lot to me, because can't tell you how many times I've spoken to a person that I judged would have no value, and at the end of it was massive value found. So first advice, let's call it, is connect with as many of them as you can. Second thing is, I believe in physics, and I've spoken about this so many times already on interviews, podcasts, and I say I believe in physics. As fast as something goes up, it goes down. Hawk to a girl, I can tell you right now, will not last forever.
Yeah.
Unless she does something so wild that she captures the specific audience that does resonate with her, that does become a fangirl, fanboy of that, right? And invests into the company, or invests into her brand, invests into her merchandise life, what line, whatever she makes of this whole thing. Like prime example, but let's talk about a person like Mr. Beast, a brand that has built up such a following, such exposure, that now he's making chocolate, he's making games. I don't even know what else he's doing. He's investing into companies, and there's a lot of things that are still being pumped into his brand that are making him relevant on a daily basis. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, names you mentioned before, they've scaled up to continue earning their spot in the social influencer game. They never stopped. So I guess let's wind it down a little bit more, so for the real estate professional that we're talking to. Again, any exposure is great exposure. We all pay massive amount of money to have exposure. So, I know that it might not be exactly the following that you're looking to gain. However, it's still a following. You never know who knows who knows what. So again, connect with those people as best as you can, and see what comes from it. Again, you never know. You truly never know.
Okay, so that's a great segue, which is follow farming. And so when you're saying connect with as many people as possible, I honestly don't think a lot of people even know what that means. I know exactly what it means. So please explain.
Yeah, okay. So my favorite thing to do in the world is the unpredictable, the unguessable thing that happens on social media. Is, more than likely, and I don't stick to this all the time. I'll say I do this like 7 out of 10 times nowadays, but it used to be 10 out of 10. And that's just reaching out to every new follower, anyone that I really engage with or connect with, and I connect with them by sending them a video message. And it's super simple. Super simple. If I get a follow from Jeff, it's going to be something like, Hey, Jeff. Thank you for stumbling upon my page. I really appreciate the follow. I thank you for your love. Really appreciate your support. And if there's anything in the world that I can ever do for you, I don't know what that might be. I might not even be able to do it, but I'll try, right? I want to connect with you and give you the love that you gave me with the follow. So thank you. And I send that as a video. And that is something that is just not, you can't copy that. That's not something that I can copy and paste to the next follower, because the next follower is going to be Megan and then Tom and then Jerry, right? I have to be specific and personable. And so that right there is what starts conversations. And as we know, this business is all about conversations. And if we don't have enough of them, then we're not going to have enough business. So that's my lead gen that I love oh so much, because again, going back to my principle, you never know who knows what. I send videos all the time. I sent about 3 already today. Maybe I'll send a few more after this. But I like to do that because no one else is doing it. No one else is putting in the time to do that. Instead of me making the calls, cold calls, door knocks, I do that. Is it the same as the most effective thing? Maybe not, but I do it from the comfort of my home on a platform that I really love. And I know there's a lot of people that love, let's just say, Instagram, but don't utilize it enough. Instagram takes advantage of all of us. We don't take advantage of it. Learn how to do that second thing.
Okay, so let's get deep into the actual strategy, which is and my first question is somebody follows you. So there's a couple of variables to this. That's why I'm bringing this up first. So the first one is someone follows you.
Mhm.
So then you go send them a private DM, direct message, but it's a video.
Yep.
Do you follow that person back every
All
time?
depends. A great question. All depends. All depends on who it is. I don't always follow the people. It truly
But you
depends.
still send them a message.
I send them a message, and if the conversation unfolds, and I feel like there's truly a long-lasting relationship in this thing, they will get a follow. If it's just a, hey Ed, thanks for the video, that's it. You know, all right, well, I tried. I knocked, right? I virtually knocked on their door, and they opened. They just weren't really interested in talking, is how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Oh, but those are for people that are coming inbound. Let's talk about outbound, as you're saying, right? You started talking on that. Like, what are the strategies?
Yep.
Outbound. If we're bringing the analogy of this like into the real world, people coming knocking on your door, that's someone following you directly.
Yep.
But let's go talking about leaving your door and going knocking on others. So I go into the search bar of Instagram and I really just search the town that I want to be selling real estate in. So I live in a town called Somerville, New Jersey, and I'm gonna just type in Somerville NJ as a hashtag. And slowly but surely, I noticed that there's a lot of other people that are using that hashtag as well. Businesses, local owners, residents, locals, really. And these are the people that I want to connect with because I want to be in front of them. So what do? I click on their page. I check out their stuff. I check out their content. I engage. I like some of their photos. I comment on some of the photos. And then I go knock on their door. And I knock on it by sending them a video message. And that message goes something like this for someone that I've never spoken to, right? Because that's a common question. Ed, what do I say? I don't even know what to say. Say the same thing you're probably saying if you're actually knocking on the door. Hi, my name is Ed. I stumbled upon your account. I was looking actually at the hashtag Somerville. I saw that you posted recently here. It's good to connect. I don't know if there's anything in the world that I can ever do for you, but from local to local, I'm here for you. Great to connect with you. Hope to hear from you soon. Ciao. That's it. That's it. I don't complicate it. I don't try to pitch on my services. I don't give them a business card.
That's the key right there. Don't pitch services.
No, they're gonna see your Instagram anyway. They're gonna really realistically, they're gonna see that video from me and say, who the hell is this person?
And then they're going to stalk you.
And they're gonna stalk me. That's just the human psychology.
Yeah.
Curiosity peaks.
Yeah.
Who is this person? Why did they send me a video? Ed, why, who are you? Let me check. And then they check you out. Oh, wow, he's posting videos. Real estate, this and that, and social
And they
media.
see in your bio that you are in fact local. You're not doing this with anybody who's not in the New Jersey metro vicinity, right? A geographic circle.
Yeah, well, send it to the locals. That's who you want to connect with. The real estate professionals that are listening to this, these are, and you mentioned it before, we want to connect more locally. We want to be local celebrities. All right, well, this is a great way to do it. What's stopping you? You know?
If your goal is to sell real estate, then most likely you're doing it within a geographic area. 99% of real estate agents, that's where they live. If you're in the game of recruiting, then yeah, you might have a broader geographic area, of course. But let's get back into this side of it, because I think we can go a little deeper on some strategy ideas, because that was kind of a 30,000-foot view. But let's get back into the search strategy of finding these people. And you know, it's you go to the search function within Instagram and you're typing in keywords. Kind of go a little deeper on what your strategy is around that, and what your strategy would be for somebody who wanted to implement this.
So for those that you got to figure out your niche and your area you want to be selling in, connecting with. Let's put it that way. You search that hashtag. You can search the location. I like hashtag. That's just a personal preference. I feel like more people use hashtags as opposed to locations. So I'll check the hashtag. And now what I do is I just start judging. Who do I want to connect with? You know, who do I want to connect with? I don't want to connect with the young kid playing video games or playing soccer. Not my ideal avatar. I want to connect with that family man, that family gal. She's got that family. I see the family picture, and they posted, you know, hashtag Somerville, New Jersey, in front of the restaurant called Verve. I'm like, I know that restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant. They got one of the best steaks in town. Like, I know that they are local. So I click on her page and I check them out. Who is this person? And then I see, oh, family, they're traveling, they vacation. Oh my God, she's a hairstylist. Let's, for example, say, you know, like, okay, she's right around the corner. Who does she work for? Oh, I know that salon. It's right around the corner. And now I start putting things together. I'm like, this is a local. This is a person that is here. So that little due diligence that I just performed is now going to go a long way. I know what to say. And is it going to sound stocky? Be careful with what you say. I mean, there's public information. If we pick up the phone and we call a random person, we prospect, and we say, "Oh, hi, my name is Jeff. You know, I'm around the corner. I'm a local. I saw your house expired. How do you know me? Where'd you get my contact from? Oh, it's public records. Is that stalking? Oh, it's just using public databases. I don't know. So same thing. It's public information.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, let's call her Susie. Susie, what's going on? I see that you use that hashtag. You're at Verve. Oh my God, their drinks are good. Did you have that a pistachio martini? Freaking amazing, right? Anywho, so good to connect with you. I see you're local. I'm a local. If there's anything I can ever do, you know, good to connect.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not
Yeah.
saying, hey, I saw your kids and your family, and like relax. Say, you know, say something that'll resonate with her in the
Well,
right.
that's a silly objection anyway, because how many real estate agents are door knocking?
Uh-huh.
I mean, talk about invasive. I mean, how many agents are cold calling? I mean, we don't. I think it's just because tradition accepted it, or it's been accepted since really telephones. Because really, cold calling didn't become a thing probably until the '80s. It's not like it's been around forever. It was just something that a business realized, we could use this vehicle to try to touch more people. And then they did the same thing with the television. They did the same. Now they're doing that with social media. It's part of the reason why we're in the freaking issues we have with sentiment towards our industry. And yeah, I think that's a dumb objection, and I'm glad you brought that up. Now, at what point, like, is there a certain, because in theory, you could do a geographic search, searching a certain term, hashtag term, and, you know, from one day to the next, you're going to see a different result. So how often are you doing this, knowing that there's going to be different results, different people posting, different things performing? What do you say to that?
For sure. It's it's one strategy out of several others that one can be doing on social media. I mean, we're talking about one, and we're keeping this simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I can be talking to you right now about, let's get into Facebook ads, and you got to go on Facebook and get an advertisement and create a sponsored ad, and, you know, spend $5 a day and get exposure. And I could be saying that. That's one tool in this tool belt. I don't like that tool. You have to pay money for it. I don't want to pay money. I like this one. This is free. This is just time consuming. So you got to do a little bit more due diligence But I personally like to do my due diligence. I like to connect with people. Again, this is a conversation to be had kind of thing. I know the only way that I'm going to convert social media followers into leads, into business, is if I talk to them. And if I wait all day long, sitting and waiting for my phone to go off, I'm going to be waiting all day. Even at this point in my career, when I have 53,000 followers, like it doesn't matter. I'm still not waiting for things to happen. Do they happen? Yeah, sometimes. But it's more so me reaching out. It's me poking at them. It's me diving into it. It's me saying, "Hey Jeff, what's up, dude? So good to see you. I hope you're listen, what's going on? What can I help you with today? I don't know. You're like if I don't do that, I don't think it's you might never come to me. I have to come to you.
Yeah.
And so I find that to be a big obstacle for real estate professionals, for anyone for that matter, is we wait too long. We're not proactive enough. We are just all reactive, waiting for business to come. And that's why I think I love this strategy more because it is proactive. It is me showing them, look, I'm coming to you. Look how hungry I am. I'm coming to you. I'm trying to start something here. What can we do?
Yeah.
So
What
like, one strategy.
what is the right amount of time that someone should be allocating to do this per day?
That's what you asked. I would say what like 20 times a day. It doesn't take forever. 20 times a day could come out to maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe less even. Now at my point, I'm so quick with it. I could do it, I could bust out 15 of them in the next 10 minutes. Just because I know what I say. I know how to talk. I know what to say. I know what to search for. I know what to look for. And I might go through 50 different accounts, but I only might want to choose 20 of them because they're not all my niche.
Mhm.
So I want to connect with that local bakery. I want to connect with that local Mexican restaurant. I want to connect with that local,
Anything
soccer
local,
team,
basically.
anything local for that matter. So why not?
Yeah.
And taking it a step further, something we didn't really discuss, just to give more inspiration to the listener right now. You can do this strategy, it's just fine, but take it a step further. I just mentioned bakery. Like, here's what I did something not too long ago. I connected with the local pet store. It was just a local pet store. I don't have a pet, right? But why not connect with them? I don't know. And so I did that follow farming strategy, reached out to them, said, hi, my name is Ed, local from local to local. And they didn't respond. So I walked into their store
Mm.
and I went up to the clerk and I says, hey, my name is Ed. I'm a local, cool stuff, cool shop, love it. Seems busy. I see you guys are all over social media. By the way, who runs your social media? Are they here? Oh yeah, they're in the back. Oh, would you mind? I've been trying to get a hold of them. I would love to connect with them. Oh yeah, for sure. Boom, and I connect. Now it's in person. Now I just took social to in person. And like if for those that are uncomfortable doing this stuff, just do it that way. Now you're in person. Go for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now do the thing. So then we connected. Maybe we see what we can do. And now chat. I don't know what about.
What was the connection about? Like, what was your motive? I mean, I know the motive, but like, how did you articulate the motive to the person that you met?
Yeah, listen, my name is Ed. I've been connecting with you on social media, or I've been trying to. It's so good to put a face to the account. Listen, I don't know what type of value I can ever do or bring you guys. I'm sure it's more business. Everyone wants more business.
Yeah.
I want more business. But if I could ever bring you value, I don't know, exposure, maybe we can make a video together, maybe we can collaborate. My clients have dogs, maybe I can get gift cards for them or something. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming out
Like it.
loud.
Yep.
All right. And I say all those things. I say all the things that I want them to talk to me about.
Yep.
And I say it just like, oh, I'm just top of mind. It's not top of mind. I've been programmed to say this stuff because I want them to hit me with, that's a great idea. Oh my God, what do you do, Ed? Now that I've shown my interest in your stuff, now you show
Yeah.
interest in mine.
That's the key right there.
That's the key. And now I hook them in, and now it's, oh, real estate. Oh my God, the market is so busy. Oh my God, how's the houses? Boom. Like that's all I wanted. Let's
Yeah.
chit chat for a little bit,
Yeah. Now the objection that I'm thinking that somebody might have is that, okay, Ed, I get how you can do that. You have 50,000 followers. You probably go into these stores or into these businesses where they have 500, maybe 5,000. Either way, you can legitimately bring them value. And I don't have that, Ed. I've got 164 followers on Instagram. I've only been there for a year. And, you know, my MO is on Facebook, but I do want to grow Instagram. But how in the hell am I going to go into somewhere and say this and it's going to mean anything to them? I can see how they would be impressed with you, Ed.
Mm-hmm. Two things. First thing, be a better salesman.
Good.
Simple. Be a better salesperson. Second thing, I would say the same thing that I told my tailor 9 years ago when he originally first reached out to me. Uh, he reached out to me on Instagram, funny story, and he was like, "Listen, Ed, I see all your suits. They look cool. They look not bad. Where'd you get them? Macy's?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you can do better." I'm like, "All right, fine. Meet with me." So we did. Fast forward, end of meeting. He shows me all his fabrics and this and that. They're awesome. And then he says, "Yeah, I charge 3,000 a suit." And I closed the book. I said, "This was nice. Nice to meet you. I can't do that. Sorry, not my thing." And and he laughed. He's like, "Oh, well, dude, if you need a suit," I'm like, "and you need business, don't you?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Great." With the very little following I had back then, by the way, nowhere near what it is today, I threw a shot and I was hoping that it would work. And I said, "Would you rather you get $3,000 from me? Or what if we collaborate and I bring you 10 people at 3,000 each? Which one makes sense to you?" And I think it would be silly of him if he said, "Oh, you right now, 3,000. Of course he said the second one. He's like, "Dude, 10 people? You can bring me 10 people?" I said, "Of course I can bring you 10 people. Wouldn't that exposure help?" The answer to this, or I guess the point I'm trying to drive here is, well, if I have 500 followers or 5,000 or 50, like those are 50 more you didn't have, right? So let's work together. Let me bring you them. All right.
How are you going to plan on doing this?
Which part?
The bringing them the 10 people?
Well, let's collaborate. Let's see what you got. So if I walk into the pet store, for example, and let's just say I have a dog, I don't know. And if I have a dog, I would say, "Listen, let's collaborate. I want to do something with you guys. I have a dog. His name is Fluffy. What if you guys give me like I don't know, some of your product? Give me some of your food, give me something that I can promote. Maybe I can stick Fluffy in a sweater and I'll make a post about it. And I'll show it to my people. Look, I just collaborated with ABC Pet Store right down the road. They gave me the sweater for Fluffy, loving it. Now Fluffy can look dapper at my next showing. Like, oh, you just mixed two worlds into one. You talked about your dog and real estate. That's content that's relevant. You collaborated. That's a beautiful collaboration between two businesses. I could have brought them exposure with that one post and maybe had someone say, "Oh, that's so funny. That's so cute." Or, "Wow, where'd you get the sweater from?" "Oh, from this store." Boom, there's your promo. So it doesn't matter if I have 53,000 followers or 10. One of those 10 people could see it. And again, back to my principle, you never know who knows what. What if that one person out of the 10 said, "Oh my God, I need a sweater for my dog. The holidays are coming up. I need exactly that." Great. Go there. They have them. I don't know. That's
So,
my rebuttal.
so I want to know, what did you specifically do how did you do it? Did you achieve it? Did you get them 10 people?
Oh, yes. With my tailor, I did. With a pet store, I mean, I don't have a dog, so I didn't know how to collaborate.
It's too new. Well, the pet store you said was recent.
It's too new. Yes, it is too new.
You'll come up with something. A client's dog. You've had videos with dogs in them.
Yes, I have.
So, but what'd you do with the suit?
With the
I'm
suit.
just curious.
So I told them, I say, "You
Did
make
you
me
create a post?
multiple over the past 9 years."
But what was like the first one? Like, what was the one that was the most impactful? I'm just being totally curious here.
Please, yeah. I told them, "Make me a suit me up, tailor me up, whatever you got to do. Measure me, get me a suit. It's on you, and let me start making some posts about it." And we did. He made me a suit for free. Cost him only whatever the production cost was, a few $100, let's just say. And he made me a suit. I was a good clientele for him because he didn't really have too many clients just yet. So I was a good test figure subject for him, and I was giving him exposure. And I promised him I would give him exposure. That's a value that you have to deliver. So can't just, BS with what you're going to bring. If you go into that bakery, into that local bakery, and you tell them every Sunday for the next 5 months, I'm going to be coming here because I have hot inventory coming in, and I have open houses out the wazoo. I will be coming in for fresh cookies every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Like, you got to deliver.
Yeah.
Tell
What was
them.
the suit? What color?
It was a navy suit. It had like these pockets. It was a bad suit. It was not the best suit, but it
Was
was
it was it was it a pinstripe one?
it was not a pinstripe one. No, it was a little older. I don't think I even wore it that much in the beginning because it wasn't that great. I took pictures of like the close-up shots and this and that, and made some
You
fun.
had to. You had to though, right?
And also every time I walk around, I have the suit on, so I always flash people. They're like, "Wow, nice suit!" And I just whip it out. I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is my tailor." So I'm a walking billboard, is what I say.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's like me with hats.
that's it. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, you always have something on.
Yeah. Always go hats. Interesting. Okay, cool. I mean, I think this is good. I don't think I know this is good. The suits questions. I'm digging because I'm just thinking about what a real estate agent, just deal with them enough to know that they're gonna, it's not gonna work because of this. It's not gonna work because of that. And I think your best response was, "Will be a better salesperson." And I think the best response to anybody who's still who listened to a podcast like this for this long and is still making excuses in their own brain, it's like, you got to get the hell out of your own damn way.
Mhm.
Is really the true answer. And so what would be, as we kind of come to a wrap here, what would be some parting advice for real estate agents as it relates to social? Because let's be honest, you're on the pioneer side, you're on the early side, which was advantageous for growth.
Mhm.
However, the reason why I love talking to you about this is because your primary method for growth is rolling sleeves up. It's like the digging ditches of social media. And so it's not the glamorous, I'm wearing a bikini or I got lucky and went viral and I grew a following. It's, I'm just doing the grunt work. So what would be your advice to a real estate agent who's kind of like kicking and screaming saying, I got to do this? What would be the best, kind of 1, 2, 3 tip advice that you'd give to an agent who you say, just what you got to do?
Just be more proactive. Stop waiting for business to come to you and go out there and get it differently than the next person. Because the next person's methods are going to be probably the same as the next person behind them. You have to do something different and unique and personable, because personality could be authentic, could be vulnerable, could be transparent. And I think those types of characteristics win mostly on online today. Those that are fake, you can sense it from a mile away. But the real ones that show love and care like no other, and you can show that online and make people feel that you care about that connection, man. What a difference. I can't tell you how many people I personally have that have been followers for a long time. I have this one lady, she's down in Florida. Her name is Andy. Big shout out to Andy. I think she's been following me since 2012. I swear. Since day one. I wasn't anyone. I just was a random kid. Till today, she's messaging me, sending me love, sending me this, sending me that. And I forgot, a few years ago I was sick and I took a post about it, posted on story, and she's like, "What's your address?" And I was like, "Ooh, I mean, why?" She's like, "You're sick, I'm sending you a care package." I'm like, "All right, I trust you." So I sent her a care package. Oh, sorry, I sent her my address and she sent me a care package. She sent me a blanket and vitamins and apples and bananas from the local Target around the corner. I still have that blanket till today, and I still remember that like it's one of the most comfortable blankets ever. And I remember that was social media that made that happen. But that was from how personable we got with one another. Until this day, I have never met her in person. I don't know who
Wow.
she is. I don't know,
Still
but
follow you?
still
Wow.
follow each other. So point being, just connect with people like that. That's the world that we need to live in. Like one more thing that I'll add, sending out postcards, for example, postcards are very generic. That's a very copy and paste, right? So let me ask you, Jeff, and if I ask the listeners too, I already know what the answer is. If I were to send you a postcard that's just, hey, resident, of 123 Banana Street, like I see your house and this and that, I'm curious. That's my postcard to you, which I could just send to you and the 38 others down your street.
Right.
Or would you like the one that says, hey, Jeff, hey, man, I saw you, I don't know, something, personable letter, right? It was so good to connect with you at this event or whatever it was. I'm sending you a handwritten letter. Like there's more personality behind that letter that's going to resonate with you a lot more. Hey, Jeff, I have
It's the
hired.
scalability that's going to scare people
It's
off.
the scale of it, yeah, big time. Because what I'm talking about is something that it's not totally scalable. It's hard to do, but personable
Yeah.
is hell, and
Yeah.
personality is going to win. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah,
So
by the way, to that vein, we did a podcast with Mike Litton, who was talking about a powerful open house strategy, and part of it was door knocking 300 doors, and it wasn't necessarily the door, which by the way is like everybody's reaction was, "How did you do 300 doors? Like that's impossible!" Like over the course of multiple days, but that's the difference. That's why I get so many people to my open houses. But here's the key: to your point, he would leave a note because most people weren't home. He'd leave a note on their door saying something personal about their house. Like, I really love the way you have the landscaping. I love the stone on the front of your, like, he gave them a compliment and said, and I'm having an open house. We'd love to have you join us, blah, blah, blah. But I thought that was brilliant. I'm like, man, like make them feel good about themselves, make them feel good about their house. You're just going to give them a warm and fuzzy about you. And yeah, I was like, that's brilliant. And it's exactly basically what you just said.
that's
Like,
it. That's literally it.
and you're doing this digitally, like go to their socials, stalk them for 3 minutes, go watch some of their videos, then give them a video reply DM that says, I watched this video, it was so awesome. Pump them up. And then it makes them want to just be like, oh, I feel so good, I want to reply back, and go stalk you. And before you know it, you're their realtor. And it's like, yeah,
Amen. The second you said something personable that touches me, it's like, wow, Jeff invested. He really did see my stuff. He watched that one podcast that was 38 minutes long.
dude,
Heard me
yes.
say on minute 17, 56 seconds, this one quote. Wow. Like, dude, you got my attention. What do you want from my life? Like, you got it now. And that's what wins. So,
Dude, I love you said that. I want to point what he just set out. Reference a timestamp. That's probably a very, very underrated strategy. Reference a timestamp to prove to them that you actually at least watch some of it. And my advice would be, if it's a 75-second video, reference something at the 65-second point, not the 5-second point. Like make sure it's later on in the video to validate that you watched it. Yeah, I think that psychologically would have a profound impact on someone, especially in their DMs. That's great advice.
that's good. I like that. Look at that. If someone stayed this long, I hope
They got some gold. They got some gold. There you go.
that.
I love it, dude. This has been fantastic. Once again, I mentioned the book. I've mentioned your Instagram. You tell us what's the best way to connect with you. What's the best way if somebody wants to literally have a conversation with you? What are all the things? How can they find you?
Send me a video message on Instagram.
Yeah, you got to win him with his own game.
That's right, exactly. My own medicine.
I love it. I love it. So it's on Instagram. You're easy to find. I was actually
Yeah.
scrolling. I did this on the last interview. I was scrolling your Instagram again.
At Eds
Ed Stulak,
Yep.
very easy. Stulak. They can get your book on Amazon, right?
Yeah, yep. Amazon, just type in expose yourself and I will be there.
Bottomless.
Yeah.
He'll be there bottomless.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Ed, always a pleasure, my friend. This has been a great conversation. If somebody doesn't take what they learned today and apply it immediately, you're a little bit of nuts. And if you waited this long to hear me say that, you're like triple nuts. So if you're here still listening to this right now, like when we're done, go ahead, like go start stalking people, do some search terms, follow farm, do exactly what Ed said. Ed, dude, Pleasure, man. Love having these conversations.
Thank you. Thank you. It means the world.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Lab Coat Agents Podcast.